They thought they were clever, outsourcing their malice to someone who lived in shadows. They went looking for someone who could curse you, unsettle you, strip you of the quiet armor you built. A witch, they called her, though titles are often just costumes for people who believe they can control fear. They wanted her to see you as prey. They wanted her to aim her craft at your name until the ground under you cracked. But here is what happened instead. She looked, and what she saw wasn't weakness to exploit, but something she couldn't measure. You didn't flinch under her stare. You didn't crumble at her energy. Your stillness made her own tools turn heavy in her hands. She came looking for cracks and found steel. People who work in manipulation fear, one thing above all, someone who doesn't open the door when they knock. You didn't just keep the door closed. You made the house unshakable. Power, real power, doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream or flash. It sits there unbothered, even when something tries to provoke it. The witch thought you would fight her with panic or crumble with doubt, but your life had already tempered you in ways her spells couldn't touch. You had built your mind into a fortress brick by brick. Self-respect was the mortar. Boundaries were the gates. Discipline was the guard that never slept. She could send whispers into the wind, but whispers mean nothing to someone who listens only to what builds them. Every trap she tried to set lost its pull because you weren't chasing bait. That is the psychology of immunity. When your focus is so anchored in your own path, no one can pull you sideways. She expected chaos to feed on. You gave her nothing but order. That is what terrified her. They counted on her knowing your weak points. The mistake was thinking you still had any. You had already gone through fires that burned away the softness they thought they could pierce. You learned to stand alone without craving approval. You learned to face silence without rushing to fill it. You learned to move without announcing every step. These are small skills to those who have them, but they are weapons to those who don't. She could sense that your fear response had been rewired. Instead of running from threats, you absorbed them, studied them, and used them as maps for where to grow next. This meant she couldn't rattle you by aiming at your insecurities. She couldn't flood your mind with doubt because you had already learned to sit with uncertainty until it lost its teeth. When someone can't access your mind, they can't win. She saw that, and the job they hired her for became a burden she didn't want to carry. The witch was not afraid of you because of anything you did in front of her. She was afraid because she recognized what you were behind closed doors. You were consistent. You were disciplined. You weren't pretending to be confident. You had earned it through repetition, through doing the hard things when no one was watching. People like her can intimidate the untrained, the easily swayed, the ones who bend when pressure rises. But you had trained yourself to hold your ground without anger, without desperation. That's what made her uneasy. You didn't mirror her hostility. You didn't give her the drama she could feed on. You responded to her presence the same way you responded to the wind, acknowledging it, but never letting it decide your direction. When someone built on manipulation sees that, they don't see an opponent. They see a wall.